We are thrilled to welcome everybody to the 2021 annual meeting of CivicStory, Inc. Pamela Daniels is our president. We're pleased to welcome board members, advisors, donors, partners, and future partners. And on Pamela's behalf, we'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll start by acknowledging and thanking a lot of people who helped during the past year. There are many different groups, but a first important group is the board officers from last year. Daniel Day, president, Peter Humphreys, secretary, and Tom Laughlin, treasurer. We'd also like to acknowledge and thank Stephen Pomerantz for his many years on the board and as development committee chair. Thank you, Stephen. We also wish to thank and acknowledge other board members who served. They were Bola Lawrence and Lauren Ferrari for several years of board service. All of these individuals gave extensive volunteer time and support. We also appreciate the work of non-board members who served on committees, especially John Howlett, who served diligently as assistant treasurer on the finance committee, and Kelly Watson, co-chair of the executive director search team. And we also are really glad to take a moment to thank all the CivicStory team members for their work and accomplishment as staff members during the past year. Cassandra Etienne, editor, Tom D'Alessio, SR Hub program director, Josie Gonsalves, executive director, Amanda McConnon, SR Hub engagement editor, Kim Tran, development and growth intern, and Lynn Rogerson, CivicStory accountant and administrator. So now we're pleased to, and they did tremendous work. And as you can imagine, the work behind the scenes is ongoing and huge, very detailed. We're now pleased to welcome nominations chair Frank Robertazzi, who will present a slate of nominated trustees for 2021-22. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you, Susan. And I'd like to present the slate of the Board of Trustees. And can you put that slate up? Or if not, I'll just read who the trustees are. Here we go. Yeah. So the Board of Trustees slate for this coming year is Susan Haig, Viva Sharma, Pamela Daniels, Elaine Tanamura, Maurice Hall, Marion Robb, Alex Rivera, and Julia Summer. What I'd like to do now is make a motion that these are the Board of Trustees for the coming year. Can I have a second to my motion?
This is Alex. I second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion passed. Okay, next, I would like to present the slate of the offices of CivicStory for the coming year. Pamela Daniels is our president, Julia Summer as our secretary, and Marion Rabb as our treasurer. I'd like to make a motion that these are the offices of CivicStory for the coming year. Could I have a second of that motion?
I'll second.
Susan seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. We now have our board of directors, board of trustees, as well as our offices for the coming year. I really want to give special thanks for all the trustees who joined the past year since our last general meeting. Pamela Daniels, Alex Rivera, Maurice Hall, Marion Rabb, Viva Sharma, and Elaine Tanamura. I mean, you all bring a lot of expertise and leadership. And I guess this is my last board meeting in CivicStory, and I've been involved in the board on advisory for over 5 years. And I just want to say, I sincerely feel this is the strongest, most diverse in every which way of skills and backgrounds that we've ever had on the board of CivicStory. So I feel that as I move on, but I'm always going to be a friend and supporter of CivicStory. I just want to say to the board, I think you really now have the foundation to, really do some great things with CivicStory. So with that, let me turn it back to Susan.
Well, before Susan, I'd just like to, on behalf of the whole board, Frank, really thank you for not only 5 years, but your strength and your support and your stability over the past year. We're just coming up on a year of my even knowing you, but I can definitely say that without you, we wouldn't have made it through all of the transitions because of your steady hand. So it will be missed for sure. We're very happy that you'll still be a friend of the organization, but I truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everything you brought to this table. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. And I'm looking forward that when we are doing live events again, a number of you I've only met virtually, including you, Pam. I really am eager to meet everybody live once we get to doing live events again.
Absolutely. Looking forward. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
So next up, I would like to introduce Julia. She is a trustee who is the chair of the program committee. And Julia is an educator, an advocate. You do not want to be on the other side of a campaign from this woman, okay?
Hi. Hi, thank you, Pamela. I've never had that kind of introduction. Thank you. So I am really pleased to see so many boxes on my screen with faces in them. I think since I've been involved in CivicStory, I completely agree with Frank. This is the most dynamic I've ever seen the organization. And it's just a really good feeling to feel like we're on a very swiftly moving trajectory to better and better places. And the amount of partnering that is happening these days and the new developments, which we're all going to be discussing in the next few minutes, is just very gratifying to be part of. And I also want to just appreciate the leadership of Pamela and all my fellow board members, and just I really enjoy this role. So let's see, where do we start? I'll just summarize the forums. There have been quite a few. I'll focus on what happened in the last fiscal year, but having said that, there have been others since the end of the fiscal year. But I will just talk about the two that happened, one in November of last year and one in December. And they were both really, I think they really exemplified what CivicStory does very well, which is welcome a lot of people into the fold, a very diverse group of people, both especially in terms of age. And as Pamela mentioned, I am an educator, and it's really unique, I think, for a nonprofit to give opportunities for young people to develop their identities as civic-minded citizens and members of the community. And I think CivicStory is very supportive the way it allows young people to take that role. And in a way, all the Zoom calls through the pandemic have made that easier, because people could just hop on a call instead of traveling distances to forums. So we had a forum in November called Future Health, Justice, and Community, Imagining Possibilities in 2025, where we sort of tried to look ahead to think what we would like our world to look like a few years down the road. And there were many speakers. I can't name them all. I spoke, but so did a lot of other people outside the organization sharing their perspectives. And then there was a youth-led forum in December where we gave several young people an opportunity to explain how they would define global warming in 3 minutes or less. And that was very interesting to hear perspectives of students as young as 10. That was my own son, but there were also college students, high school students. We had an NJTV business reporter, Rhonda Schaffler, who was present, which was a new direction for us to have a member of that field join us. And Maurice Hall, who's a board member and now provost at Bennington College, was part of that. So our forums have been well attended, and we look forward to many more, and there have been more since the two I've just described. We also had a couple of really superb fellowships this year. One of our Newsroom Innovation Fellow is actually joining us this evening. That's Abby Orff. And she spent 10 weeks with us over the summer. We had a very unique partnership with the Reynolds Journalism Institute at the University of Missouri. We were sharing Abby for the summer, and she really, you'll hear more about what Abby did for us and how she was involved in a capstone project. But over the summer, she really helped us at a critical time when we really needed someone doing a lot of legwork and supporting our website and just helping us be very much more organized in terms of how we create a content budget and things like that. So Abby, we really appreciate what you brought to the organization. So thank you. And then we also had, I don't think Jamie's with us today, but we had a Princeton University sophomore doing.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, you are here. Great.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, your box isn't visible on my screen.
Hi.
So maybe Jamie will have a chance in a bit to describe her work, but she spent 8 weeks as part of a internship through Princeton, and she has a special interest in sustainability, although she's an engineering major, I believe. And we had a chance to get Jamie's research on sustainability in New Jersey in particular. So I will, and then the other thing I want to mention, I know I don't want to take too much time, is that we have a new community partnership with the South Orange Public Library, which has been really helpful. And we have someone from the library here tonight?
Yes, the director, Jill Flaherty, is, I believe, in the room.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm driving, so I take you off mute.
Okay. Hi. So, Jill, thank you for everything you and the library are doing. You've been particularly helpful on helping us with the back end when it comes to the Zoom forums. So we really, really appreciate that partnership and hope it flourishes further in the next year.
It's our pleasure, and we look forward to supporting you a lot more.
Great. So there are other things that have been under the purview of programming, but I will not speak about them now because I know other people are going to. But I just want to emphasize what a good place we're in right now with the sheer fact that we have a program committee, which we could not say a year ago, and that we have such a stellar senior editor who's now taking the reins of many of the tasks that the program committee has been working on. So that's a wonderful development. And Jenny, we will look forward to hearing you speak in a few minutes. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone wants to ask or add to the remarks I made.
Thank you so much, Julia. Is Pamela there? She might be.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Oh, I didn't see Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Thank you for that, Julia. So I think, yeah, Susan, go right ahead. We'll go into Zoom.
Well, thank you, Julia, both for your leadership as program chair. It's been wonderful. And as board secretary, we just so appreciate you juggling that and with a new teaching job. So you're really hands-on during the week as well. So most appreciated. So our next agenda item is just a little fleshing out an aspect of programming, which is educational partnerships. And as we know, youth leadership is key to both civics and sustainability. So I have the pleasure of serving on that program committee. And I just wanted to give a little background on a very important partnership that grew last year. It developed with the Reynolds Journalism Institute, RJI, at the University of Missouri, fondly known as Mizzou. And this partnership started with an introduction to Randy Picht by who's the executive director of RJI in May 2020. He was introduced to us by our board chair, Dan Day. And at the time, Randy noted close to 100 sustainability stories on the project website, SR Hub. And he said, so how did you generate all this content? He said, do you have a playbook so other states can do it? And we said, actually, we don't have a playbook and we'd love to have one. So we had a conversation about that. And a few months later, in September, Randy suggested that CivicStory and the SR Hub project might be a good study project for the senior capstone course in the spring semester at Mizzou, where all journalism students are in this course. So one thing led to another, and it turned out that from January to May, we met with a wonderful team of 5 students from Mizzou who worked diligently researching and developing a sustainability reporting hub playbook. And they did a great presentation on Zoom on May 12th. And what's especially exciting to me beyond the just exhilaration of working with them and hearing their ideas was that they recommended some changes and adjustments and improvements to the SR Hub project as it had gone in phase 1 and 2. And these changes have been able to be implemented in the current phase 3 of the project. They thought out of the box. They said, you know, why don't you just pay per story? Why do you have to line up so much money in advance? They said, why don't you have more than one fellow per newsroom? Because then when you have several reporters in a newsroom, it kind of gets out into the culture of the newsroom. We said, yeah, good idea. So both of those ideas are implemented now. And it's very exciting to have, as we mentioned on the call, 2 members of that great team. Is Tatiana here yet? I know she's on a Zoom.
I'm here. Hi.
Oh, Tatiana's here. So Tatiana was the informal team leader. She's now a graduate student at the University of Maryland. She's on a fellowship from Howard Center. So we just thought, Tatiana, why don't you tell us what life is like 6 months down the road and how you view that capstone project or anything else in retrospect. So welcome to Tatiana Monet.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here and hear, you know, all of the cool updates and everything that CivicStory is up to within the last year. So yeah, like Susan mentioned, I'm now a graduate student at the University of Maryland, where I'm, you know, getting my master's degree, learning more about investigative journalism. So I got my undergrad at Mizzou. And so since the capstone, I actually started reporting as an agriculture and international trade policy intern at Politico. And so I sort of dove into sustainability and climate change and how that intersects with agriculture and farmers, and learned a lot about regenerative agriculture and you know, the carbon market marketplace and things like that. So I sort of have a different view of the CivicStory Fellowship now, because I actually have reported on sustainability a little bit now, which I didn't have at the time of the capstone. So that was some pretty cool perspective to gain afterward. But yeah, just sort of out here reporting from Washington. And happy to be here. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tatiana. And do you want to just give us just one word, are you hopeful given what you're learning and reporting on, especially with regenerative agriculture happening, not necessarily in the news every day, but it's happening. Any thoughts on?
Honestly, I feel like one word could not cover it. I just from like a policy perspective, it's just such like uncharted territory that like I really like cannot foresee what it's going to look like. And that's just coming from me as sort of like a novice in the area, where I just sort of took a deep dive for 3 months. Or, people who have been practicing regenerative agriculture for like 10, 20, 30 years, and they're not even on the same page. So sort of like the wild, wild west, but hopefully we'll get there.
Great. So fertile territory. Okay, well, thank you so much. It's wonderful to hear about what you're doing, and congratulations on your trajectory and your next chapter. We look forward to hearing about it. So please stay in touch. So Abby Orff, another member of the Mizzou team, became our 10-week fellow, and we were just thrilled to be able to work with Abby. So we'd love to hear your update, Abby, on 6 months down the road. How are things working out for you, and how do you view your fellowship now?
Yeah, hello. It's so nice to hear from Tatiana. It was really great working on a team with her for the capstone project. And I feel, looking back on it now, well, I guess just to give you an update of where I'm at now, I'm working for Lee Enterprises, which is a national newspaper publishing company. They have about 80 newspapers in 26 states. And I work at the design center, so I'm a special interest publication designer. So a lot of Lee Enterprises publication takes care of like daily newspapers, weekly newspapers, and my section of design is in the more specialty things, which, as you know, is quite a bit different than what I was doing at CivicStory. So looking back in hindsight at it, I felt that the fellowship really gave me an opportunity as a young journalist to feel out a lot of different jobs and get to know people and get to know what the collaborative nonprofit field is really like. I think I went into the fellowship thinking that I wanted to be a reporter, and I came out understanding a little bit better, what is it to be an editor? What is it to be a reporter for someone, to work on web design, to stick my fingers in all the pies and get an experience of what it's really like to work for a smaller nonprofit. And I feel like it also gave me the opportunity to be a little bit of my own project manager. And touching on what Julia said, I really do think it was an amazing opportunity for me, because it really helped me figure out where I wanted to go in the field. And on top of that, I feel that CivicStory also has a very strong leadership between Susan and Pamela and the rest of the board. It was really great to network with you guys and learn a lot of things in that 10-week period. I think I learned, an extra semester of school being there. So that was really wonderful and a great opportunity for me. And I think it definitely impacted where I am now and helped me get a lot of professional work experience in a lot of different little fields. Like they were saying, I did a lot of the web design things and working on updating things and trying to understand, how can collaborations work well over Zoom? So that was also great to have an experience of working fully online for 10 weeks. So I was really appreciative of that. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time here. I definitely miss you guys, but I'm happy where I'm at now too.
Thank you, Abby. I have to say, we were amazed by Abby, because no matter how fluid, changing week to week, whatever was thrown at her, she was right there on time, smiling, nothing ruffled her. It was like, oh, she was just this amazing, capable, enthusiastic, energetic, humorous, calming influence. And we just could not thank you enough. So
thank you so much, Susan.
And I'm sure Pamela will agree.
At CivicStory, I feel like we're very passionate and very, supportive of one another. So I really appreciated that about CivicStory.
Thank you. Back to Pamela.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. And I'm absolutely echoing what Susan just said. Abby, you were an absolute pleasure, a breath of fresh air, wonderful to work with. And we got so much done in such a short period of time that flew by, and you never skipped a beat. So we miss you, but we're really proud of you and excited for your journey, for sure. And the next fresh breath of fresh air that we've had the pleasure to experience has truly been meeting and working with, and I don't even know how many weeks, we're talking about 5 weeks, I think, at this point, working with Jenny Alward, who is our senior editor, a new role that we realized that we needed, someone to manage all these words. And Jenny comes with an amazing background across sectors and across the globe in this field. And so we're really excited to have her with us. And without further ado, I will let Jenny share a little bit about her background and then just a few words. Thank you. Jenny?
Thank you, Pamela. And it has been 5 weeks, 5 great weeks. I'm learning the ropes. And just a couple words on my background. I worked in public health for many years before coming to CivicStory. And my focus was on advocacy, but also on a lot of writing and editing. So I was hoping to take a turn more toward the writing and editing work. And that's how I came across this job, which matched perfectly with my passion for working on environmental issues. So I'm delighted to be here. And I'm just going to take a few minutes to go a little bit deeper on some of the things that Susan and Julia already mentioned about why I want to illustrate why I'm excited to be here at CivicStory at this particular moment. Julia talked about how CivicStory allows young people to take on civic roles, and amplifying the voices of young leaders in environmental sustainability is something that excites me very much about what CivicStory does. And to provide a couple of examples, one of the forums that happened just last month in November featured 3 students, 2 college students and 1 grad student, talking about their reactions to the United Nations latest climate conference known as COP26. So we had a student from Tufts University's Friedman School of Nutrition Science and Policy. We had a student from the College of New Jersey and 1 from Princeton University. And the energy that they brought to explaining their perceptions of what took place at COP26 was so inspiring to me. And I particularly was struck by something that that they each said at the end when asked a question about how can people get involved in addressing global warming and climate change. And each of them said that people need to be really assertive, especially when you're young and you're not necessarily given a seat at the table. You need to take that seat at the table. So I'm pleased that CivicStory offers young people a seat at the table. And another example of that is, as Susan mentioned, our New Jersey Sustainability Reporting Project. This year, in our 3rd phase of the project, we have for the first time 3 students who are joining our professional reporters. They are from Stockton University, New Jersey Institute of Technology, and New Jersey City University. And each of these 3 students is producing really thoughtful articles on topics that are of interest to the young people that are their peers on campus. And it's been such a pleasure reading the work that they're producing, which will soon be co-published both by their universities and on CivicStory's Sustainability Reporting Hub, which is srhub.org. So look very shortly for pieces on recycling and waste on campus, on a sustainability approach to fashion, and on strengthening the oyster population in Barnegat Bay. And I don't know, I'm going to scroll through here whether we might yet have.
Yes, we do.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm going to introduce Moyanalua Blessing Akeju, known as Blessing, who is one of our current fellows. She is a sophomore and a biology major at New Jersey City University and a contributing writer to the university's Gothic Times newspaper. And Blessing usually writes about environmental issues and representation within the Black community. She also writes poetry and stories, and she is a cartoonist. So Blessing, can we please get you to say a few words about your experience with the fellowship?
Yes, I'm so grateful to be here. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I want to say a couple things just about the opportunity that I've been given to work with CivicStory and to have this internship. So my name is Blessing Ikeju, and I'm a journalist for the CivicStory Sustainability Research Journalism Internship. And I just want to talk about how this opportunity has meant so much to me, and it allowed me to challenge myself in ways where I never had to before to actually reach the stories that I want to reach. So outside of the internship, I am a little bit active in, environmental groups, volunteer groups and stuff like that. But I always feel like it's a different perspective when you get to actually give people the information so that they can have the chance to be involved as well and make a change in their own lives. That way you can reach dozens or hundreds or even thousands of people. So then I feel like the wave effect is making even more of an impact than just doing one thing yourself. So for the first 2 articles that I've been trying to write on, even with just those 2 for the first several weeks, I've had to dig deeper than I've ever had to before. And I received the type of constructive criticism that I wasn't able to receive before, a level of support from CivicStory. And because of that, I was able to produce work and edits to my articles that I've never been able to produce before. Like the level of work I was able to do was even surprising to me because of the support CivicStory gave me. So I feel like in these several weeks, I've grown a lot as a researcher. And then I learned that it's really a strategic and meticulous activity to do environmental research. It's not just something you do for fun, but there's really a difference that you're making. It's hard, it's difficult, but it's rewarding. So because I've been able to do that and reach out to professionals and writers and people that I would never email or try to call or research before, now that it gave me a sense of confidence in what I'm doing, that it actually matters. And also because of the field that I want to go into, I want to be a biology major, and in the future, I want to be a physician. So the crucial skills that you need are the research skills. That's the crux of what you're doing. You need to be able to do scientific research, and you need to go very deep into it. So I feel like this internship was building me up to do that kind of scientific research, and also building me up for the kind of assignments and projects I'll need to do to get my degree so I can actually reach that job as being a gastroenterology physician. So because I've been able to do that level of thinking, that analytic research that I'm doing right now, and look through all the data and stuff like that, get statistics that I need to put together these articles, then I really feel like because of this internship, now I'm a lot more prepared, even though it's only been a couple of weeks, that now my skills are like heightened. And so I want to thank the people at CivicStory for giving me that opportunity to reach out to all these professionals and organizations, and just for showing me how I can prepare myself to reach my goals in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Blessing. And I will just say Blessing really exemplifies, again, the energy that the students we're working with in this phase of the fellowship are bringing to it. And so we can't wait to see your stories on our srhub.org site. And then I guess in addition to the fact that CivicStory raises up these young voices in environmental sustainability, the second thing that really excites me about being at CivicStory at this moment is that, as you know, we are a nonprofit news site, and that means that we're telling stories that might not otherwise be told, and particularly stories about the environment and environmental justice. Our New Jersey Sustainability Reporting Project, which launched in 2019, has now published 116 stories on environmental sustainability by 10 newsrooms in New Jersey. And we're expecting many more by the end of this current third phase, which will be in roughly the February timeframe. And that means there's 116 stories out there that might not have been told and that might not have reached people. And thanks to the relationships that CivicStory has been building up with newsrooms and with sustainability experts who can be sources for our reporters, and thanks to the name recognition we've been building and the lessons we've learned from working with now 3 groups of fellows, we're set to launch a more ambitious phase 4, hopefully in around the March to April timeframe. And by that, I mean more fellows from more newsrooms doing more stories. So keep an eye on that spot. Nonprofit news to CivicStory means expanding a sense of possibility about solving problems and equipping people for positive action in their local communities. So when you combine that with our ability to raise up these young voices, these are the reasons that I'm motivated to be here at this point, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you who are our CivicStory audience and with our board. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much for that, Jenny. Thank you for the work you're doing with them. This is absolutely phenomenal. This was what we were hoping for sure. And certainly the energy has to be maintained and cultivated and continue. And so that just speaks to your ability to connect with this group of students and continue to motivate them to their excellence. So, and to Blessing, really great to meet you. Thank you so much for your contributions, and we're really excited to see the journey that you continue on, and happy to be part of that journey for sure. Wonderful. Were there other students here to share, Susan? Was there other fellows, or just
Jamie is on, and we're very excited about the work that she did over the summer. So Jamie, do you want to give a quick 1-minute wave on your summer internship, and how are things going now at Princeton?
Yeah, sure. It's been a few months since I did my summer internship, but yes, I guess I can just give a quick introduction of myself. So I'm Jamie. I'm a sophomore at Princeton University, and I was given the opportunity to work with CivicStory during the summer for, I think, 8 weeks. And I was pretty much a research intern. So I did a bunch of analyses, like a competitive analysis and sentiment analysis on a bunch of articles I read from different news organizations in New Jersey, just to see and analyze like how news organizations were reporting these environmental issues and how they were like framing these issues, and just to help and just to see if they were also including like sustainable action or community action, because that is what CivicStory really values and wants to emphasize in their news. So I just wanted to just compare and contrast these articles and see what kinds of themes or any patterns that we were seeing in terms of reports. And yeah, and it was honestly like, as I was going into the internship at first, I wasn't sure what to do, but like Susan and Pamela were able to help me and really like narrow down what I wanted to focus on. And I definitely learned a lot from this internship.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jamie. And definitely continue to excel and in at Princeton. And we are here for you. If there's any other way that you're interested in, the same thing to you, Blessing. We enjoy bringing you guys back to participate in other events and forums, whether you want to host or just be part of the discussion. We do welcome you. Once you're with CivicStory, you're with us forever. Ask Frank. So thank you so much. Again, I really want to reiterate, the point of that Jenny raised, which is that it's really important that this space continues to grow, that the nonprofit news space is doing something. It's covering news that mainstream simply is not. And so we're really encouraged by not only the responses and the interest of students and the partners who are willing to support this work and execute this work, but certainly by the various collaborators and funders and sponsors and donors who also see this vision and who are moved enough to support this work. During this time of year, it's ironic that today is Giving Tuesday. We're excited to participate with the News Match program. Some of you may be familiar with, where it is a wonderful opportunity for us for contributions that come in during this time to be doubled, if not tripled, depending on some scenarios. And so if you're a donor and you haven't given this year already, this is the time to do it, because your contribution will go for much further through this particular effort. And if you have not donated before, well, we think you've heard a full agenda worth of reasons why you should make a contribution if you are in fact able to. And certainly as we're looking at programming going forward, we can, if there are, whether it's board memberships or advisor roles, we do have advisory positions and committee roles. We are interested in continuing to grow this family, grow this work, grow our efforts, and it takes partners, it takes people who are passionate about sustainability and civics. So I thank all of the donors, the funders, the sponsors who have all come to make this happen. We have over 120 individual donors that have contributed in the 2020-2021 fiscal year, and we really truly want to thank you for that. We also want to take a moment to recognize a member of the family who's no longer with us, Ms. Donna Liu, who passed away this year. She was a journalist and a digital expert who's done a number of articles for CivicStory. She was a tremendous support throughout the first iterations of the hub, and without her, we wouldn't be thriving today. And so she is truly missed, and we do thank her for all she has done for us. We also like to take a moment to recognize and spread the word about Nonprofit Connect, which has been a really amazing resource. It is through Nonprofit Connect that we found BIPOD, as well as Elaine, correct? Yes, as well as Elaine. We took it slow and we did a little dating at first, and then they decided to take us back. And so so that they are now part of our board because of this really amazing resource. So we do encourage you to take a look at Nonprofit Connect, and they are here in New Jersey, and see if that is a resource that you may need to leverage. Also, Andy Howell for facilitating the recruitment as well. And very significant partner who's been very great at being a thought partner, which is really important in this work, and who's on the line or was at least on earlier, Ms. Mary Blanuza, Executive Director of Northern New Jersey Community Foundation. I wasn't sure if Mary wanted to say any words, or Susan, did you want to give a better intro?
We'd love to hear a wave from Mary. There she is, Mary. It's just been really, really wonderful to connect on many levels: mission, program, philosophy, goals. So, and we're excited to be on the verge of a strategic partnership. So if you want to just say a word of hello, we'd love that.
Sure, yeah, I think, Northern New Jersey Community Foundation is very much committed to civics and sustainability, and sees this as a really good partnership to expand the knowledge of people in the region about what's going on in environmental justice and other areas, while supporting young people to build their skills as reporters. And so we're excited about having a partnership with you, kind of establishing CivicStory as a legacy grantee for the future, and building that into some of this matching funding work that you have going on now, and looking for other ways to engage to cross promote our work in environment and civics, and potentially also looking at doing some additional diversity, equity, and inclusion work. So a lot of things, a lot of potential opportunities. I've had a lot of time to speak with Susan and Pamela and start to get to know Jenny. So thank you, and I'm excited about what possibilities there are.
Thank you, Mary, and congratulations on all the programming work. It's an amazing portfolio you have at the Northern New Jersey Community Foundation. And I have to say, one of the ways we got connected was you put on a wonderful forum that featured youth leaders in sustainability in New Jersey, and they were so articulate, and you moderated a great conversation. So we kind of chased you down after that and found, wow, we have a lot of points of connection here. So it's very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've been doing a lot of talking, and we are coming towards the end of this this scheduled time together. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns, or clarity that is sought from anyone regarding anything that was shared today?
And of course, shout outs, we love to.
Yes, yes, yes. Frank?
There are so many people to just say hi to. Stephen Rodas was in the phase one of actually phase two of the SR Hub. And Stephen, you're now with NJ.com.
Yeah, so I'm currently doing a fellowship with NJ.com and going to Syracuse University to get my master's. But yeah, still happy to contribute and follow along with the latest updates. I won't be as busy with school next year, so I'll definitely circle back to look for more ways to work with CivicStory. And shout out to Blessing and the Gothic Times.
Thank you.
It's good to see John DeGood, who started a great collaborative, he along with his colleague, along with Dr. Kim Pearson. So a lot of benefit from a collaboration with TCNJ last year. And is Andy Cricken on?
Don't think.
Pamela, I think we just wanted to, in general, just say a big thank you to our advisory council, which has been so helpful. In addition to the board, it's different from a board, but I see Richard Lawton. We just really benefit from the advice of a group of individuals who share from various areas of expertise. Just incredibly helpful. Jennifer Sneed and others that are on the call. So thank you to our advisory council. And Maya, that's right.
Absolutely. So again, to reiterate that, Jennifer, I know Jennifer is on, and Richard, thank you so much for all of your support, especially in this latter half of the year. You've doubled as editorial team. You've doubled as let's see, the recruitment team. You've gone through. You're part of the. Yeah, so there's a lot of this. So there's been a lot of titles that the advisory team has held, and they've really been just as fluid as the board members in terms of their flexibility and ability just to bring their expertise to bear on many fronts. So we truly appreciate that, and welcome other individuals to support, because we definitely like to keep everyone in great creative spaces around here.
Susan, would you like to, I think you've worked with Jeff Belafonte.
Oh, Jeff, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Jeff is a new member of our advisory council and has been providing great support during a critical onboarding time when a new senior editor comes on board. Wow, what's the support structure that's needed? So Jeff, we really, really appreciate your advisement each week. Very, very wise and very supportive.
Well, thank you. I come by this white hair honestly, so I'm happy to be part of the CivicStory family.
Thank you so much. And the final thank you that I think is absolutely owed is the backbone, the front bone, the side bone, every bone is absolutely Miss Lynn. None of us would be here if Lynn was not the pillar of strength that she is. A little direct, but straight to the point, shoots from the hip, and we need that. And so I truly thank you for all you've done this year, years past. You are the heart and soul of this organization, and anything you want, you got it. So
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Here, here.
A quick shout out to Jean Guerrero, Jean, who built the site originally and has come to our aid many times on the technical side, but also understanding nonprofits and passionate about sustainability. So a wave and a thank you to Jean Guerrero.
Okay. So
Maurice, any quick thoughts from Maurice? Because you've had a big overview of the scene in New Jersey, and now you've got this broader overview of the sustainability scene up at in Vermont. So good to see you, Maurice.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm just so excited that young people continue to be involved and such an active part. It was great hearing their voices, great hearing what they're doing, and continuing to engage that population is crucial. So I think that is really exciting and portends very well for the future. So congrats and good work in continuing to do that. Even as I run away to another meeting once again.
Thank you, Maureen. Susan, anything else?
I think we just were hoping to get a snapshot of everybody's faces. If as many as possible want to come on their video, show us your beautiful face. We always forget to ask, but this time I'm remembering. So if others want to take a snapshot, and if it's okay with people, that is a wonderful thing. So hello.
Who's taking it? Oh, Susan, you should use the screenshot feature.
Pamela, you better, can somebody do that? Because I don't know how to. All the tech types who know what they're doing. Hi, Richard. Oh, Richard, you've been so helpful. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah.
Good work.
Great. Irlana, it's good to see you, Irlana. And Joyce. Oh boy, everybody.
Jenny, can you grab that screenshot?
Is somebody grabbing a screenshot?
Jenny, did you say yes? Okay. Good.
Okay.
Did you screenshot page 2?
I didn't, but I'm gonna now.
I got it out, right? Okay. Go to screen 2.
Smile.
Done.
Awesome. Thank you,
Fabulous.
everyone.
Oh, Donna. Hi, Donna. Oh, loved our conversations in Newark and look forward to more.
Same here. Very exciting. Thank you for inviting me there.
So many amazing nonprofit partners. It just needs to be known by the general public how much great work is happening out there. So that's one of the reasons we exist. So, and let's see, what are we missing? Liza, any word from Liza? She's been in the trenches doing so many things. She was there. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I don't think we need to do any formal kinds of closeouts, so we appreciate your time, and we look forward to sharing more in the future. Thank you.